If you came here looking for permission to quit, this is not that video. If you're tired, doubted, overlooked, betrayed, count it out. Good. Because pressure doesn't destroy the strong. It reveals them. Say it with me right now. You will never defeat me. Defeat is a decision before it is ever a result. Listen to me. Most people think defeat happens when they lose the job, when the relationship ends, when the business fails, when the exam score comes back low. They think defeat is the event. No, the event is just the circumstance. The real defeat happened earlier. In the mind, defeat begins the moment you say, maybe I'm not good enough. And defeat begins the moment you whisper, this is too hard. Defeat begins the moment you accept average as your ceiling. King, you don't lose when you fall, you lose when you decide not to get back up. Think about this. Before every championship, before every victory, before every breakthrough, there was a moment where quitting looked easier. Even legends face that moment. Michael Jordan didn't become great because he never missed. He became great because he refused to mentally surrender after missing. That's the difference. Life will hit you. That's guaranteed. You will be misunderstood. You will be doubted. You will feel pain. But none of those things have the power to defeat you unless you hand them permission. And some of you have been handing over permission without realizing it. Every time you replay your failure more than your potential, you're giving permission. Every time you compare your beginning to someone else's middle, you're giving permission. Every time you speak negatively about your future, you're giving permission. Stop signing contracts with defeat. And your circumstances don't decide your outcome. Your response does. You can lose money and still not be defeated. And you can lose a relationship and still not be defeated. You can lose an opportunity and still not be defeated. But when you lose belief, that's when defeat moves in. That's why this is an internal war before it's an external one. The battlefield is your mindset. The opponent is doubt. The weapon is decision. You have to wake up and decide, not feel, not hope, not wish. Decide that quitting is no longer available to you. When quitting is removed as an option, your brain is forced to find solutions. Average people negotiate with struggle. Can winners confront it? Average people say, if it doesn't work, I'll try something else. Can winners say, I'll make it work or I'll grow until I can. Defeat is not a punch. It's a posture. If you walk into life already expecting to lose, you've already positioned yourself lower. But if you walk in with conviction, even when you're tired, even when you're scared, you shift the energy. Your body follows your beliefs. When you decide, truly decide that you will not be defeated, something changes. You move differently. You think differently. You endure differently. Pain doesn't surprise you. Obstacles don't intimidate you. Delays don't break you because you've already settled it internally. And here's the powerful truth. The world can only test the strength you display. And when people see that you don't fold under pressure, they stop trying to pressure you. When challenges realize you're not backing down, they lose their psychological power, but it starts here, inside. You must draw a line in your mind and say, no matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it gets, I will not surrender my identity to this moment. This is not about pretending things don't hurt. They will hurt. This is not about denying struggle. Struggle is real. This is about refusing to let temporary circumstances define permanent identity. You are not your worst day. You are not your last mistake. You are not your current struggle. Those are experiences, not definitions. And the moment you separate who you are from what you're going through, defeat loses its grip. So when life knocks you down, and it will, you don't ask, why me? You ask, what now? You don't say it's over, you say it's building me. That's the mindset of someone who cannot be defeated, because defeat is not something that happens to you. It's something you agree to, and from this moment forward, you withdraw your agreement. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your instructor. Most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid pain. They run from it. They numb it. They complain about it. They pray for it to disappear. But what if the very thing you're trying to escape is the very thing assigned to elevate you? Then pain is not punishment, pain is preparation. Lynch, when your muscles grow in the gym, they don't grow because the weight is light. They grow because the resistance creates microscopic tears. Those tears rebuild stronger. That soreness you feel, that's growth in progress. Life works the same way. The heartbreak you felt, it stretched your emotional capacity. What kind of failure you experienced, it sharpened your strategy. The rejection you faced, it redirected your path. You call it pain. Life calls it training. Hey, look at someone like Kobe Bryant. His work ethic was legendary, but what people don't talk about enough is how much pain he embraced. Injuries, criticism, losses, pressure. He didn't collapse under it. He converted it. That's what made him different. Pain didn't weaken him, it refined him. Or take Oprah Winfrey. Her early life was filled with adversity, but she didn't allow pain to define her as broken. She allowed it to deepen her empathy, sharpen her voice, and strengthen her resilience. The very struggles that could have silenced her became the foundation of her influence. And pain either builds you or breaks you, and the deciding factor is interpretation. If you interpret pain as proof that you're failing, you shrink. If you interpret pain as proof that you're stretching, you grow. See, pain exposes your weak spots not to embarrass you, but to improve you. It shows you where you lack discipline. It reveals where you need maturity. It forces you to confront your limitations. And that confrontation, that's transformation. Comfort never created greatness. Nobody discovers their highest level in comfort. Comfort keeps you average. Comfort keeps you safe. Comfort keeps you small. Pain pushes you beyond what you thought you could handle. And think about the moments in your life where you grew the most. Was it when everything was easy? Or was it when you had no choice but to rise? Pain has a voice, and if you listen carefully, it teaches patience when things don't move as fast as you want. It teaches humility when pride gets exposed. It teaches endurance when quitting feels tempting. It teaches focus when distractions fall away. The problem is not that pain shows up. The problem is that most people panic when it does. They assume struggle means stop. But what if struggle means strengthen? What if this season of difficulty is developing emotional muscle you'll need at the next level? What if this pressure is increasing your capacity? What if the tears, the frustration, the exhaustion are stretching you for something bigger? You don't ask a diamond to form without pressure. You don't ask steel to strengthen without fire. So why do you expect to evolve without resistance? Pain is uncomfortable, yes, but it is also revealing. It reveals how badly you want it. It reveals what you're willing to endure. And it reveals whether your dream is stronger than your discomfort. And here's the truth. The people who cannot be defeated are not the ones who avoid pain. They are the ones who outlast it. They don't deny it. They don't dramatize it. They dominate it. When pain hits, they don't say, why is this happening to me? They say, what is this teaching me? That shift changes everything, because when pain becomes your teacher, it stops being your enemy. And the breakup teaches you self-worth. The loss teaches you gratitude. The failure teaches you strategy. The delay teaches you patience. And one day you'll look back at the very thing that hurt you and realize it built you. You thought it was breaking you. It was building your backbone. You thought it was destroying your confidence. It was constructing your character. You thought it was the end. It was the edge of your expansion. There is strength in you that comfort will never access. There is resilience in you that only resistance can reveal. And if you can learn to sit in the fire without running from it, you come out forged, not fragile. Okay, so the next time pain shows up, don't flinch, stand tall. And because pain doesn't have the power to defeat you, it has the power to develop you. And development is dangerous in the best way possible, so embrace the lesson, outlast the discomfort. Can grow through what you go through, and remember, the stronger the pain, the greater the preparation. And you will never be defeated by what was designed to train you. Discipline beats motivation every single time. Motivation is a feeling, discipline is a decision, and feelings, they change, they rise and fall. Some mornings you wake up energized. Some mornings you wake up exhausted. Some days you feel confident. Some days you feel insecure. If your progress depends on how you feel, your progress will always be unstable. Gang, but discipline doesn't ask how you feel. Discipline asks what you committed to. That's the difference between people who talk about goals and people who achieve them. Motivation will get you started. Discipline will keep you going when nobody is clapping, when nobody is watching, when nobody cares. You say you want to win, then you better learn to move when you don't feel like it. And because the truth is, the days you feel like quitting are the days that build your edge. Look at Kobe Bryant. People talk about his talent, but what separated him wasn't talent. It was discipline. Not because he felt inspired every day, but because he decided that average was not acceptable. That's what discipline does. It removes negotiation. When you're motivated, you say, I'll do it if I feel good. When you're disciplined, you say, I'll do it because I said I would. And that shift changes everything. Most people are addicted to hype. They love the speech, they love the quotes, they love the energy. But when the energy fades, so does their effort. You cannot build a powerful life on temporary emotion. You build it on daily standards. Discipline is waking up when you don't want to. Discipline is practicing when you're tired. Discipline is staying focused when distractions are louder than your goals. Yet discipline is choosing long-term growth over short-term comfort. And here's the powerful part. Discipline builds confidence. Not fake confidence, not loud confidence, real confidence. Because when you consistently keep promises to yourself, you start trusting yourself. Every time you say, I'm going to work out, and you actually do it, you build trust. Every time you say, I'm going to study, and you follow through, you build trust. Every time you say, I won't quit, and you keep going, you build identity. Identity is built through repeated action. You don't become strong by talking about strength. You become strong by lifting when it hurts. You don't become unstoppable by declaring it once. You become unstoppable by showing up consistently. And let's be honest, there will be days when you feel nothing, no excitement, no inspiration, no energy. That's where champions are separated from the crowd, because when the feeling disappears, The committed keep moving. Discipline turns effort into habit, and habit turns action into automatic behavior. When something becomes automatic, it no longer requires motivation. You don't brush your teeth because you're motivated. You do it because it's a standard, it's non-negotiable. Your goals need to become that non-negotiable. Too many people treat their dreams like options. I'll work on it if I have time. I'll try again next month, maybe next year. No. If you want to say you will never defeat me, then your actions must match that energy. And because here's the truth, your enemy isn't lack of talent, it's inconsistency. Inconsistent effort produces inconsistent results. Yeah, but disciplined effort, that compounds. One day of work seems small, 1 week seems minor, but 1 year of discipline, that changes your entire life. The gym doesn't transform your body in one session. It transforms you through repetition. Your mindset works the same way. Discipline also protects you from self-sabotage. When emotions get loud, discipline stays steady. When fear whispers, stay comfortable. Discipline responds, move anyway. When procrastination says, later, discipline says, now. That's power. Because once you master discipline, external circumstances lose control over your progress. And rainy day, you still show up. Bad mood, you still show up. Doubt creeping in, you still show up. And showing up consistently is undefeated. People may outshine you temporarily. They may even outperform you for a season. But most people cannot outlast discipline consistency. They burn hot and fade fast. You burn steady and rise strong. Discipline is not flashy, it's quiet. It's repetitive, it's sometimes boring, but it's lethal in the long run. And because while others wait to feel ready, you're already working. While others wait for perfect timing, you're already building. While others are making excuses, you're stacking effort. And over time, effort compounds into excellence. So stop chasing motivation like it's the secret. The secret is standards. Your mindset controls your ceiling. Read that again. Your mindset controls your ceiling, not your background, not your bank account, not your critics, not even your current circumstances, because the way you think determines the way you act. And the way you act determines the results you create. If you believe you're limited, you will live limited. And if you believe you're capable, you will search for solutions. Two people can face the same storm and walk away with completely different outcomes. Why? Perspective. One says, this always happens to me. The other says, this is happening for me. That shift is everything. Your mind is not just processing reality, it is shaping it. When you constantly tell yourself you're unlucky, you start seeing proof everywhere. When you tell yourself you're growing, you start finding lessons everywhere. The mind searches for evidence to support what it already believes. So if deep down you believe you're destined to fail, you will unconsciously sabotage opportunities. You'll hesitate. You'll procrastinate. You'll shrink when it's time to expand. But when you believe you are built to overcome, you step forward even when you're unsure. You look at Muhammad Ali. Before he was champion, he declared he was the greatest. People laughed. People doubted him. But his mindset elevated. Resilience is built in the dark, not in applause, not in recognition, not when everybody is cheering your name. Resilience is built when nobody sees you, when nobody claps, when nobody reposts your effort, when nobody understands your grind. Your resilience is forged in isolation. Everybody wants to be strong. Few people want the process that creates strength. Because strength is not built in comfort, it is built in pressure. Think about a time in your life when you were stretched beyond what felt comfortable, a season when you felt alone, a moment when you questioned yourself, a chapter where things didn't go the way you planned, At the time, it probably felt unfair. It probably felt exhausting. It may have even felt hopeless. Dan, but look at you now. You're still here, and that survival, that endurance, that growth, it didn't come from easy days. It came from dark ones. The dark builds depth. When the lights are off and the crowd is gone, you discover who you really are. When the support fades and the outcome is uncertain, you find out what you're made of. Ben, resilience is not loud. It is quiet endurance. It is choosing to keep going when progress is invisible. It is choosing to keep believing when evidence is limited. It is choosing to keep building when results are delayed. Ben, anyone can be positive when things are working. Resilient people remain steady when things are uncertain. Look at Oprah Winfrey. Before the global recognition, before the influence, before the success, there were years of adversity, personal hardship, professional setbacks, being told she wasn't the right fit. But those early dark seasons didn't weaken her. They built emotional depth. They strengthened empathy. They developed a voice that could connect with millions. The darkness was not the end of her story. It was the development phase. Or think about Serena Williams. The championships are visible. The trophies are visible. But the grueling training sessions, the injuries, the losses, the criticism, those happened in the shadows. That unseen grind created visible greatness. Resilience is invisible before it becomes undeniable. Len, the problem is most people quit in the dark because they mistake silence for failure. And when results don't show up quickly, they assume it's not working. Kat, when recognition doesn't come immediately, they assume they're not good enough. And when the path feels lonely, they assume they're lost. But darkness is not absence. Darkness is incubation. Mangsa seed grows underground before it ever breaks the surface. During that time, nothing appears to be happening. But beneath the soil, roots are forming, structure is developing, strength is preparing. Plans, if you dig the seed up too early because you think it's not growing, you destroy the process. Plan, that's what quitting does. Resilience says, stay planted. Stay planted when it's uncomfortable. Oh, stay planted when it's quiet. Can stay planted when growth feels slow because the dark season is building what the bright season will reveal. Mander, resilience is emotional stamina. It's the ability to feel pain but not surrender to it. It's the ability to experience doubt but not be directed by it. It's the ability to encounter setbacks but not identify with them. Setbacks are events. They are not identities. Men, when you build resilience, you stop saying, I am a failure, and start saying, that attempt failed. Land, that shift protects your self-worth. Resilient people separate who they are from what happened. Land, you lost the opportunity, but you are not a loser. You made a mistake, but you are not a mistake. You face rejection, but you are not rejected as a person. The dark teaches you that distinction. Land, because when you are alone with your thoughts, when there is no noise to distract you, you confront your insecurities. You confront your fears. You confront your limiting beliefs. And if you stay in the process instead of running from it, you grow stronger internally. Man, resilience is built through repetition of recovery. You fall, you get up, you struggle, you adjust, you hurt, you heal. Over time, recovery becomes faster. Your emotional bounce back strengthens it. What once would have crushed you now challenges you but doesn't break you. That's growth. And at first, criticism may paralyze you. Later, it informs you. Eventually, it barely shakes you. Lander, at first, failure may devastate you. Later, it instructs you. Eventually, it refines you. That evolution happens in the dark. But man, the dark strips away ego. It strips away distraction. It strips away dependence on external validation. Then when nobody is clapping, you must clap for yourself. When nobody believes, you must believe for yourself. When nobody encourages, you must encourage yourself. That builds internal power. External motivation is temporary. Internal resilience is permanent. Mental resilience also develops patience. Identity determines endurance. This is deeper than motivation, deeper than habits, deeper than goals. Because when everything else shakes, identity remains. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your identity. And if you see yourself as someone who quits when it gets hard, you will quit. If you see yourself as someone who survives storms, you will endure. If you believe you are fragile, pressure will break you. If you believe you are forged, pressure will shape you. Yet identity is the internal story you tell yourself about who you are. And that story controls your behavior more than anything else. When challenges hit, you don't ask, what should I do? Okay, you subconsciously ask, what does someone like me do? If your identity says, I'm not disciplined, you'll act accordingly. And if your identity says, I'm not confident, you'll shrink accordingly. And if your identity says, I'm not strong, you'll surrender accordingly. But when your identity shifts, your endurance expands. Look at Muhammad Ali. Before the belts, before the titles, before the global recognition, he declared, I am the greatest. That wasn't arrogance, it was identity. He endured brutal fights, criticism, exile from boxing, and immense pressure. Why? Because his identity wouldn't allow surrender. He didn't see himself as someone who folds. Identity gave him endurance. Okay, or think about Serena Williams, setbacks, injuries, doubt from critics. But she carried herself as a champion long before every record was broken. That identity fueled her resilience. When you believe you are built for greatness, you endure like someone who is. Endurance is easier when struggle contradicts your identity. If you believe I am resilient, then quitting feels unnatural. If you believe I am a fighter, then surrender feels foreign. If you believe I am disciplined, then laziness feels uncomfortable. That's power. Most people try to change behavior without changing identity. They say, I want to work harder. But deep down, they still see themselves as inconsistent. They say, I want to be confident. But internally, they still identify as insecure. Lasting change doesn't happen from the outside in. It happens from the inside out. You don't act strong to become strong. You decide you are strong, then act accordingly. Your endurance in tough seasons depends on what you believe about yourself in those seasons. If you see hardship as proof that you're weak, you'll retreat. If you see hardship as confirmation that you're growing, you'll persist. Identity shapes interpretation, and interpretation shapes action. Here's something powerful. You are not stuck with the identity you inherited. And maybe you grew up being told you weren't enough. Maybe you failed in the past and labeled yourself a failure. Maybe you've made mistakes and defined yourself by them. But identity is not fixed. It is chosen and reinforced. And you can decide today, I am not someone who quits. I am not someone who collapses under pressure. I am not someone who gives up when it's inconvenient. You can decide, I am resilient. I am disciplined. I am capable. I am built to overcome, and once that decision is repeated through action, it solidifies. And when everything around you feels uncertain, your self-concept keeps you steady. You don't panic as easily. You don't crumble as quickly. You don't doubt as deeply because you know who you are. And when you know who you are, attacks don't stick, criticism may come, but it doesn't redefine you. Failure may happen, but it doesn't label you. Delays may frustrate you, but they don't defeat you. Why? And because defeat is not aligned with your identity anymore, you don't see yourself as someone who stays down. You see yourself as someone who rises. Identity also protects you from comparison. When you are secure in who you are, you don't measure your worth against someone else's timeline. You don't shrink because someone else is ahead. You don't panic because someone else seems more talented. You focus on becoming a stronger version of yourself. That internal stability increases endurance because comparison drains energy. Identity preserves it. When your sense of self is rooted internally, external noise becomes less powerful. Okay, so here's the real question. Now, who do you believe you are? Not on your best days. Not when everything is working, but on your worst days, when you're tired, when you're doubting. When you failed, who are you then? If the answer is, I'm someone who keeps going, then you are almost impossible to defeat. Because identity drives consistency. And stop identifying with your past limitations. Start identifying with your future potential. Okay. From this moment forward, your identity is not fragile, it is forged. And when identity aligns with perseverance, quitting is no longer an option. Man, that's the power of knowing who you are. That's the power of identity-driven endurance. And that is why no matter what comes, you will never be defeated.